Hello, so Kate Allgood here, owner, founder of Quantum Performance. And in today's video, we're going to look at the subject of being able to hold two realities simultaneously to be able to help you to effectively be able to perform, to not let kind of the negative thought processes, negative self-talk, self-doubt kind of decide how you are going to perform, but then be able to make the choice based off of who you are, your strengths, to be able to perform in the manner in which you need to be able to perform. So obviously, why is this important? Why this is important is because I think a lot of time, athletes who look up to these individuals who are able to perform in high stakes moments, who win, obviously Olympic gold medals or win championships, who seem to thrive in high pressured moments. There's a little bit of this misconception or maybe myth out there that they don't experience the same things that you do, that they don't experience self-doubt or negative thought or worry or concern, right? Everyone experiences these things. Every athlete experiences these things, no matter the level, no matter how good they are, no matter how, what their resume, so to speak, is and how well they've done in the past. This is a part of the ego. This is a part of us where this negative voice, negative self-talk, self-doubt is going to at times poke its head out, and it's going to find, just a small moment to be able to do so. Great athletes understand that there are two parts to them. There is this part to them that is going to want to kind of drag them around the block, kind of create that self-doubt. But then they also are able to still see at the same time who they really truly are and what their strengths are and what they bring to the table that's going to now help them be able to perform. They are able to then make that choice to focus on the strengths, focus on who they are, focus on what they can do to help them be able to perform, while understanding that they still have this other part to them that is going to, again, try to kind of drag them around the block, but they don't focus on it. It's kind of on the peripheral. They accept that it's there. They kind of, in one sense, embrace that it does exist, but then they kind of make that choice to focus on, as I said, who they are, and that kind of allows that negative self-talk, that self-doubt to kind of go to the side and not let it decide how you will perform and for you not to become it. So how do we do this? How do we kind of hold these two parts to ourselves simultaneously, and how do we now focus on the aspect of us that's going to help us to actually perform in the manner in which we would like to? First of all, you have to know yourself. If you do not fully truly know yourself, it's going to be hard. You have to know who you are at your very core. You have to know what your strengths are. You have to know what you bring to the table, and you have to be able to really lean into that and as I said, really know who you are, have confidence in it, and understand that it exists and it is there regardless of how sometimes maybe your self-talk might tell you otherwise. Then you also need to find ways to be able to detach from that negative self-talk, from that self-doubt, from that part of you that wants to tell you maybe you can't do it or to give up or whatever it might be. And so there's a few ways that you can detach. Humor is a great way. It's uniquely human for us to be able to use humor to detach from that part of ourselves. So we have to be able to do that. How we talk to ourselves, kind of creating some separation and almost observing that part of ourselves and kind of talking to it in a sense like a third person. So some athletes I've worked with and some professional and really high level athletes, they'll actually name that part of themselves something different than their own first name, just to kind of help create some separation from it. Some athletes will physically move, so they'll physically maybe take a few steps away from where they currently are standing and turn around and then kind of talk to themselves like a third person, like they would talk to a friend or a teammate, and kind of help, kind of walk through being able to talk to themselves with a bit of a distance and observation so that they're not becoming that self-talk, not becoming that emotion. That's really the difference. Is great athletes don't become the negative self-talk, don't become the self-doubt, don't become the frustration or become the anger. They're able to keep it separate in terms of it exists, but they can kind of still see it and observe it and not let it consume them. And obviously, again, you have to be able to detach, but then you also have to be able to know who you are, what your strengths are, so you can then focus on that clearly and then be able to take the necessary steps based off of that. So there you have it. Those are some things that you can do. You got to be able to understand that it's not about trying to get rid of or burying that part of you that might bring a little bit of negativity or self-doubt. It's really what you do as soon as you have that first self-doubt thought or that negative self-talk? What do you do in that moment? In that moment, you have a choice. You either continue down that path and let it consume you, let it drag you around the block, become it, or you focus on who you are, what strengths you have, and what you can bring to the table in that moment that is in your control, and focus on that. So another part, finally, to kind of summarize and to bring to the end, is another thing that can help is you have to train your mind to be able to focus in the way that you want to. So you have to be able to train your mind to be able to point your focus where you want it to be pointed and to maintain it there. And that can be very difficult, as many of you probably understand and know, especially when there are emotions, especially when there's a lot of energy and a lot of things going on. And so one of the best ways to do that is through mindfulness. And if it's not something that you've started to incorporate, it is one of the best ways truly to train your attention, to do basically push-ups for your attention, for your focus, so that you have a better ability in those moments to be able to detach from thoughts that do not serve you and be able to then point your focus in areas that are going to help you.